Hello, I'm hoping that we're testing this to make sure everything's working. It says we're live. We've got a few minutes before we officially start, but I wanted to make sure I was getting all the instructions right. Let's see here. Um, it says, oh, okay. I guess we've got comments set up okay. And I'm going to get started here in a minute. Right now we don't have any. Oh, we got 3 people. That's good. Let me know you're appreciate it. Um, I haven't got. I'm not gonna get started right away, except that I can certainly answer some questions for people if you want to know more about our group. I think I included the link. I did. I included the link in the little description of today's meeting. If you're interested in joining the Meetup group, it's Asperger Syndrome Partners and Family of Adults with ASD. That's our Meetup link. We also have our private group where you can look at a private website. Anybody can go there. It's Asperger Syndrome and Relationships, and that's where I have my blogs and newsletters, and we have also what's it called? Teleconferences have been recorded for our members. You do have to be a member to listen to those, but we have over 10 years of teleconferences on topics like the ones we're going to be talking about today. Good. So it looks like a number of people are here, and I'm going to scroll down because I have to do that to make sure I got comments. Let me know if you can hear me if I'm recording this. I want to make sure I actually have the volume on, and so that other people can listen later. So far, I think you can hear me, hopefully, and see me. And we've got several people. Okay, today we're going to be talking about communication. That's sort of a general subject. You know, whenever I get phone calls from people that want to learn more about this topic of neurodiversity or autism spectrum and neurotypical relationships, when I get requests, practically everybody says, I want help with communication. Almost everybody says, we have problems with communication. Well, that's sort of the human condition, really. Us human beings have a way of communicating with each other on multiple levels. It's not just one thing. It's not just the words, it's not just the facial expression, it's not just the gestures with our hands or tone of voice or even the language that we speak. There's multiple energies that are coming through when we're talking. So I'm talking about that a lot over this next month in April. I do hope you check out our group. It's growing. It's getting bigger. We kind of downsized for a while to make sure that only people who really, really wanted to learn about this were joining, as opposed to just people who were dropping in to check on things. Oh, good. Thank you, Laura. You can hear me. That's great. It's good to know. Um, so, but right now, believe it or not, we have 500. Not quite, but almost 500 members, and people are joining every day, and that's just really amazing to me, because it may seem like that's not very many people when you're talking about a whole world full of people where there's probably neurodiversity going on. But like I wrote in my little message, it's like if you have 500 people who get what it's like for you to live in a relationship that's a neurodiverse relationship, and they know that you know what you know that you're talking about things that are happening to you that are also happening to them, or they're telling you things that are also happening, and you say, wow, it's amazing. We have this much in common. It's very supportive, because this topic, if you think about it, this topic of communication, you all have this experience of just one little thing going wrong. You know, one little thing, and then boom, there's this explosion. Oh, I gotta be careful how fast I move. Apparently, it upsets the video. Anyway, I want to talk about that it can be just the subtlest thing, this communication stuff, because human beings, we think that we're talking the same language because right now on this call we're all speaking English or reading English, but we aren't speaking the same language. There's subtle innuendos that are going on even in this video. I'm doing my best to speak to you as if you're right here in the room with me, but I'm going to miss some things that are important to you, right? And you're reading my face and my gestures, and you still might not get everything because it's video. But what I want you to consider is that what we're going to be talking about this month in our video conferences is that everybody makes sense. Everybody has an intention that they're trying to communicate. In fact, it's always about intention, if that makes sense. If your intention is clear, you will communicate. However, that doesn't mean that that's what the other person is going to pick up. They don't always pick up your intention. So you're going to communicate it, and we need to assume that somebody else is trying to communicate their intention, but we might have to ask some questions. We might have to repeat ourselves, right? We might have to draw pictures for people to help them understand what our intentions are, and that should be okay. We should allow people to do that. So I think the thing that's been missing, and this is what I really want to talk about, the reason that neurodivergent folks and neurotypical folks have had such trouble communicating with each other, more so than with neurotypical to neurotypical. The reason we've had so much trouble is that neurodivergent or ASD folks or autistic spectrum folks are not reading the same cues that neurotypical folks are reading. So that's what we're going to start talking about. Communication in our ASD-MT relationships really requires that we neurotypicals go an extra mile to try to get to the intentions of our autistic loved ones. And it's important for our autistic loved ones to understand that they are not picking up all of the messages that we're trying to send. It's really important. So I'm going to tell you what's happening this month. I think we can kind of get started with that. If you're a member of our Meetup group, you can attend these conferences, and it's pretty easy to join. All you have to do is click on that link there, and it should take you to how to join, and then you can sign up for these individual conferences. It's good to sign up at least a month or 6 weeks ahead of time because the conferences do fill up. The one teleconference per month is unlimited, so as many. Last time I think I had 100 people sign up for that. It doesn't matter how many people sign up because it's an audio call, and I don't care how many people show up for that one because we can easily accommodate you. The video conferences, on the other hand, and the teleconferences are recorded, and then I save them for you to listen to later. The video conferences, though, are limited to 8 or 10 people so that we can all talk with each other. It's not just me blathering on about something. It's you sharing your own experience. And I don't record the video conferences because I don't want to invade people's privacy. Their face is going to be showing, there's going to be a name there. So those aren't recorded, but you do get to talk to other members. And so that's important. To be able to share your story with other people is really important. So I've got, let me see here, 3 topics for video conferences this month. The first one is how to speak to your ASB so that they will listen. And I'm repeating this conference 4 times during the month. It looks like the first 3 are sold out, but there's room in the last one on April 21st. How to speak to your ASB so that they will listen. It's really kind of an interesting problem. And I'm demonstrating the problem right here as I'm talking on and on about stuff. What we neurotypicals do is we tell stories, right? We tell stories. We set the stage for what we want to talk about. we're trying to connect and bring everybody into the circle so that then when we do actually say what we mean, it feels like we've all connected. The problem with that approach is that your Aspie hears all of that as one of my clients said, fluff. Another one called it confetti. They hear all that setting the stage as irrelevancies. It's not irrelevant to me. It's not irrelevant to the other neurotypicals who are listening to this. Setting the stage is helpful because we're looking to see if other people are ready to talk, or if they have something else on their mind, or that you're looking to find out if I'm interesting enough to listen to. There's all these other little subtle messages that we're sending, but most important for neurotypicals is to connect person to person. Then we go to the subject, right? We're connecting first. So if you're going to talk so that your Aspie will hear you, I always suggest using a public speaker's approach, which is you give the topic that you're going to talk about. Today it's communication in ASD-NT relationships. Tell them what you're going to talk about, or tell them what the point is, the headline of your story. Then say, and I'm going to tell you the story. And you can even say, I might wander around a little bit, because we NTs do that. And then at the end, you give them the punchline again. So they're likely to listen when they know that, oh, you're going to talk about communication in ASD-NT relationships. Okay, we're going to talk about that subject. Or we're going to talk about summer vacation. Or we're going to talk about getting our COVID vaccination, whatever it is you're going to talk about. I want to schedule a time for us to go in and get our COVID vaccination. Then they know that's what you're talking about, and then you can say, and by the way, I'd like us all to go at the same time, so what's your schedule? Blah, 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 blah. So the problem is that Aspies want to hear you. They want to, follow along, but we tend to wind over here and wind over there, and we think we're being direct, but we're really not. Which kind of gets us to the second video conference for the month, and that one is entitled "Why Aspies Don't Get Chit-Chat." So this conference, by the way, is open. The 3 times that I'm giving it, April 12th, April 15th, and April 19th, have plenty of room for that video conference. So I hope you can join me. And by another thing, I'm bouncing around here again. Another thing is that I always offer these conferences at different times of the day and different days of the week, so that we can accommodate people's work schedules and time zone. The times are always listed in Pacific time, but you can easily convert that just by going to a time zone chart on the internet. But I do try to give a morning, an afternoon, and a late in the day time, so that no matter what time zone you're in, you can probably get to the call. So why Aspies don't get chit-chat? Okay, I was just sort of speaking to that. Think about it. They don't get chit-chat. Sometimes they try chit-chat themselves. How many of you have heard your autistic loved one tell the same story several times? So sometimes they think that if they just tell the same joke or the same story, that's what we're doing, but it's not what we're doing. Our chit-chat is, and small talk is another word for it, it's what we're doing to connect. We're throwing out a little tidbit of something to see if the other person notices and looks back. It's like pinging, and it's pinging to that other CPU. Are you there? Are you ready to talk to me? So chit-chat for us is the prelude to the dance. It's noticing the other person, acknowledging the other person, encouraging the other person to share this moment. And we want to share the moment with them too. It's a very important part of connecting before we begin a deeper conversation. Now, we don't want to just stay at that chit-chat level, because that really wouldn't be terribly much fun. But if the chit-chat doesn't work, if the other person doesn't chat back, then we will keep throwing out a prompt to engage with us. That's what neurotypicals do, all right? Unfortunately, the person on the spectrum doesn't really get what that's about. and they think we're wasting their time. They get up and leave the room. They try to stop the chit chat and say, well, what's the point? Where are you going with this? Even children will do that. I've had some of my autistic clients say, what's your point, Dr. Marshak? Or I think you're off the subject. And I'm just trying to connect with them. So that's our second conference of the month, is to talk a little bit more about why they don't get it. And there's a lot of reasons why they don't get chit-chat. They can't get it. They're not wired for it. It's an empathy issue. Empathy is the ability to assess where that other person is coming from in this moment in time. Not where they're coming from last week or where they'll be tomorrow. It's right now. And that's why your Aspie can understand who you are in the greater sense, but they may miss exactly what you're trying to say now, right? Then I'm going to get back to this topic in just a minute in terms of what's underlying chit-chat, which is connecting, because I had an interesting encounter from, oh, hi, Sandy. Good, I'm glad you checked in. I appreciate that. Anyway, I want you to understand why it is that they don't appreciate the chit-chat. They may know we're doing it, but they dismiss it as if it's lightweight, and it's not. It's vital to our communication. So I'll get back to that after I talk about the next couple of conferences. The third video conference for the month of April is Patterns of Aspie Communication. There's my cat. I couldn't get her out of the room. Patterns of Aspie Communication. So we have, I'm going to do that conference 4 times. We added a 4th conference because it was selling out really fast. But you've got a couple of times to get to it. One's on Monday the 26th, and another is Wednesday the 28th. Remember, these are video conferences. Patterns of Aspie Communication. Once you understand the pattern, then you can read what's going on with your Asperger loved one, okay? And that's important because, hi Amanda, it's been it's the mystery that gets us to feel hurt and angry with each other. It's the mystery for the autistic loved one as well, because they don't get what's going on or why they're missing the point. They don't really know why. So they can be mad, they can be hurt too, just like any other human being. So once you understand what they're doing, the way their brain is organized to process information, I think we can cut through that without the defensiveness. You know, obviously everybody can raise their hand that we have lots of defensiveness in these relationships on both sides, really. So patterns of Aspie communication I think is really important. And I'm going to get back to why that is in just a second, as soon as I tell you about the last conference. The last conference it's not the last of the month, it's actually on April 16th. This is the one at noon that anybody can attend. It's a teleconference, so I don't limit the numbers, and I do record this so you can listen to it later. This one is, why are NTs blamed for trying to help? So again, this is part of that communication stuff. I really want you to understand how that works. When we try to help, we tend to point out something that's wrong. You might say, why are you feeling badly? It may seem like that's nice, except that we're pointing out to our Aspie that we think they're feeling badly when they may or may not be, right? Or we might say something like, something really bothers me and I'd like to talk to you about it. Again, that's bringing up something that's unpleasant, right? And when we say that to another neurotypical, it works out okay. The other person is going to say, oh, I'm so sorry, what's been going on? I had no idea I was bothering you. Or, I'm not feeling badly, but I've got a headache. It's been kind of bothering me. Or, you know what, now that I think about it, I've been kind of annoyed about something that's been going on at work. Whatever. We're willing to kind of dive in and deal with that. But um, when we try to help, we often will start it with trying to talk about the problem, as if when we talk about the problem, the other person will join us and work toward a solution. We're trying to set up a reciprocal interaction where two people will work on a solution, right? So if you say something like, I don't want to miss our opportunity to get the COVID vaccination this week. There's some openings at the clinic and I don't want to miss that. Your aspie loved one might hear that as you criticizing them, telling them that they're the reason you're going to miss it. They may say, well, that's not my fault. And you're going, well, I know that's not your fault. I didn't say it was your fault. I just wanted you to know I don't want to miss this. Well, you get an argument started. So I don't know if you get it, that we tend to bring up a problem and it sounds like we're criticizing when we're really asking for our Asperger loved one to work with us to solve the problem. We would never, well, it's not that we never think of telling them what to do, but typically what we're trying to do is help them solve something. So even if we say it in a positive way, even if we said, if you want to get to the clinic this week to get your COVID test or vaccine or whatever, you need to make an appointment today. You really should do that. And we'll say something like that, you should. Now, we're just trying to help, but you should sounds like to them, why do you think you have to tell me what to do? I know how to take care of myself. And we're really just offering a suggestion. So in this teleconference, I want to go into more depth about how to switch that over, how to talk again so that they'll listen, so they don't feel blamed, so they don't get lost in your story or your chit-chat, right? Which is what these conferences are all about. Okay, so before we run out of time, I want to make sure you understand that the way they communicate is without empathy. They do not use their empathy to assess what to say next. They're assessing what's going on with them, and they're bringing up what occurs to them, but we're trying to figure out how to talk with the other person. So we're using our empathy to look at the other person and all the contextual cues to figure out what to say next. So that's what chit-chat is. Chit-chat is using empathy to assess the context, to pick up things in the context. Oh, Dr. Marshak, I really like that screen behind you. And then I can turn around and look at it and say, thanks, I kind of like it too. It's sort of beachy and I like living at the beach. And then that's just chit-chat. It's irrelevant really, except that I feel good that you complimented me. You feel good that I acknowledged your compliment. We're feeling good about each other, and then we can move over and talk about something else, right? Talk about a more in-depth subject. So we use empathy to keep noticing the person. We want to talk to the person, and the subject always comes later. For our spectrum folks, they're waiting for the topic to be meaningful to them. Remember, they're assessing, is this topic something I want to talk about? Whereas we're assessing, are we on the same page? Are we together? Are we enjoying each other's company? Are we, willing to take this relationship to the next level? So as long as they don't use empathy to connect with others, we will always have communication problems, always. And in fact, even when both sides understand this better, we're still going to have problems, because the autistic mind automatically goes to the topic or the facts, and the neurotypical mind automatically goes to the person. So I wonder if I can get this up, I'm not sure. I was talking to one of my autist clients, and he was a little distressed that his girlfriend was very upset with him for being a little blunt, maybe a lot blunt. And he was really concerned about what he'd done wrong. And he acknowledged that he tends to be very direct and blunt at times. He says that's true. And he said, I don't spend a lot of time on the fluff, I know that, but I just think there's a big misunderstanding here. So I nailed him. I said, it's not fluff. right? It's not fluff for us neurotypical. Oh, Reagan says she likes the screen. I like it too. Thank you, Reagan. At any rate, he used the word fluff, right? Fluff, confetti, backstory. They think of it as minor, that we spend this time connecting. So I said, I used an example that really helped him, and you can use this example too. I don't know if you know about the illness myasthenia gravis, but I use this example. Myasthenia gravis is a terrible illness. In fact, it had killed my brother-in-law when he was only 45. What it is a genetic illness, a recessive trait illness that destroys the connective tissue around all the muscles in your body. So your heart, not just your arm muscles and your gluteus and all that, but every muscle in your body can be attacked by this terrible illness. And all the connective tissue is attacked. And you could say that without the connective tissue, the muscles are still there, but you need to know that without the connective tissue, the person will die. And there's no cure for this illness. And I said, so for neurotypicals, that connective tissue is empathy, is our connecting back and forth. Are you with me? Are you there? Do you like me? Do you like me enough to keep talking with me? That all that connective tissue is so vital that the relationship won't survive without it, right? So when I mentioned this example to my neurotypical client, my autistic client, he was so impressed. He said he copied and pasted it so that he could keep it and look at it again. So I really want you to understand how much that makes sense. I hope it does. So that's why that's why I've got these topics. Okay, that's why I've come up with these topics, because I want our neurotypicals to get that. I want you neurotypicals to get that this connective tissue is something they don't notice at all, or they think it's an extra layer and they wait for us to finish it. And I want my autistic viewers to realize that it's more than fluff. So while I've got a few minutes here, let's see here. It looks like Natalie left a comment about, she said her husband does not like to be complimented. It makes him feel uncomfortable. Yeah, that's the fluff. See, he doesn't know what to do with that. He's supposed to say, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And maybe say something sweet back to you. But that would be chit-chat. That would be connecting behavior, right? And it's uncomfortable, not because he doesn't like the compliment. It's uncomfortable because he doesn't know what to do with it, right? And if you think about it, when you were an awkward 13-year-old Mindy, you didn't know what to do with those compliments either. But eventually you did learn. You learned to smile, thank the person graciously, maybe give them a compliment back, or even say, hey, let's go for a Coke, if you're a teenager. So something that is, I want my autistic loved ones and my clients to practice some of those gracious, comments, but we will still know that they're approximating empathy. We will know that it's not quite accurate. But if we can accept it and know that they're trying, that's something, right? Because it gets back to intentions. As long as your intentions are, loving and kind and true, even if you're a little clumsy, maybe we can accept the good intention anyway. So that's about all for today. Does anybody have any other questions or comments? Nobody's been posting much up there except some nice compliments from you, which I appreciate. I'll just wait a minute here, see if anybody has anything. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Now realize that even after I'm off the screen and we close down the call today, I will respond to questions and comments if you are looking at this later. And my cat is just saying if I don't hurry up and give her a snack, she's going to be annoyed with me. But that's okay. She can wait. Okay, I hope to see you in our group. All you have to do, by the way, if you want to join the Meetup group, I've got the link on the Facebook page. You can join. You can join for free for 30 days to kind of get an idea of how this works, you know, how to sign up for these video conferences and teleconferences. We also have a lot of forums. I haven't erased any of the forums, so they go way back for 10, 12 years. You can read old forums. You can start a new one. You can chat about this topic on the forums. They're a little bit hard to find on our Meetup page. I always have to remind people that you go to our home page. You have to be a member to get into the forum. It's all private. Nobody can go there if they aren't part of this group. But on the tabs across the top of our Meetup page, go to the far right tab that says More, M-O-R-E. Click on that, and the drop-down menu will list message boards. That's where the forums are. They're not called forums, they're called message boards. Go there and you will find dozens of message boards to read and share with others, share with others on the message boards about these subjects and these concerns. And anyway, and I hope that, oh, Carol, thank you so much, sweetie. She says, thank you for doing this very important work. No one gets it like you do. I appreciate that. You know, I do want to say something about that. When I cracked the code on this empathy thing, it really opened up my therapy work. I was able to finally understand why I had, this neurodiverse conflict. And I was able to reach my Asperger clients much better, actually. They accept that they are transactional and that they don't have empathy. They get it. They just want to know how to be more loving. So, hopefully we'll see you